All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Walrus and Comic Podcast, the sports report that everyone's dying to hear every single week. Brett, there's really not much sports to talk about, but we're going to talk about the one sport that does matter. That's WWE.
Thank God.
I know how much you love it, buddy.
Thank God.
Hey, at least there's something to watch. I mean, AEW's on as well, but at least we have something we can watch week by week. But I will tell you, I'm kind of ready to get this podcast episode over with, so I can go home and play Animal Crossing.
All right.
I gotta build my houses, and I gotta chop some trees, and
do whatever it is.
Hit some rocks.
Do whatever it is Animal Cross folks do.
Fish, build houses, all kind of cool stuff, man.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody explain what you do in that game.
Really?
Other than you just hang out, man.
No,
you hang out, man.
You make friends and you go out and you do a few things. But maybe we can actually talk about that on an episode of Squawking and Talking sometime soon. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in today. It's another coronavirus-filled week in sunny South Carolina, where it's actually felt like pretty much summer.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The past week, it's here. It's been hot.
It's hot.
And we're gonna provide you with more nonstop action of the WWE and some UFC as well.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time to be alive, Brett. I actually have a list of the matches for WWE's Wrestlemania, which is happening this weekend on Saturday, April the 4th, and Sunday, April the 5th.
That'd be weird.
So, yeah, it's the first time ever WrestleMania has been over 2 nights. But I think it kind of makes sense with just how unconventional everything is.
They did it in 2 different places once.
Yeah, that is true.
They did it in 2 different places once.
Yeah.
Never 2 different nights.
Never.
Was it WrestleMania? Was it 4?
Man,
no, that was in.
Well, that was before
Trump Towers.
That was before my time. WrestleMania 4.
One of them was. I think it was Chicago, and then it was another city that it was going on in, but it's 2 different cities.
They might have had a match in there that wasn't able to be sanctioned in one city. Like, 'cause some states have different rules with what type of matches you can have. South Carolina actually has a blood law where you can't have blood shed shown on like TV like that or like any type of sport. So that's why you have to. Like, they're very particular about that. So like I remember, I think it was WWE was doing a Monday night or like Raw or a SmackDown taping, and they had to do one of the matches in a totally different state because it was like a super violent match. But that's not.
Well, I'll pull out my handy dandy Google.
All right, and you're gonna see what happens. So while he's doing that, let's talk a little bit about what the WWE decided to do. So WrestleMania is the biggest show that WWE does every year. It's their big money maker. We're talking probably billions of dollars that they make during this. So I actually almost bought tickets to WrestleMania because this year it's in Tampa. And Tampa was the place that I've always kind of wanted to go. It's at Raymond James Stadiums, or was there. So it's going to be an awesome show, an awesome venue. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy the tickets, though, because it would have been for nothing. So
I was wrong a lot.
Really?
I was wrong a lot.
How so?
There's 3 cities.
3 cities?
There's WrestleMania 2.
Okay.
None of those were Chicago.
All right.
Well,
where were they?
Uniondale, New York, Los Angeles, California, and Rosemont, Illinois.
I wonder why it was that way.
I thought the Rosemont Arena was in Chicago, but I guess not. It's Rosemont, Illinois.
Guess so.
Not in Chicago.
It's okay. You might be close geographically. I don't know. If you listen to the podcast and you're from Chicago, you're from the state of Illinois, how close are these 2 venues we're talking about?
You've heard about the Rosemont Horizon Arena as like one of their favorite, Stone Cold's favorite place to go.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I'd always thought it was in Chicago, but
listen, I don't really pay attention to where too many arenas are. All I know is Madison Square Garden. This is the mother of all. Listen, you just don't. Listen, you can't tell me if you had the opportunity to perform in MSG, you would turn it down. It's historical. I mean, it's a whole story.
That's the reason I'm doing it. Led Zeppelin.
There you go. All right, so Brett, let's talk a little bit first. I know there's a lot of issues with this WrestleMania show going on that a lot of people have, and I think you're one of the biggest critics I know for the continuation of WrestleMania. Yeah. For a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna let you kind of talk about that.
One of my reasons got solved.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is going home.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing. It was just him.
I don't, man, I don't have a problem with Vince allowing him to stay in the main event of WrestleMania to perform for the people if Roman Reigns wanted to do it. Now, if Vince was making him do it, I would have an issue with that. But the fact that Roman Reigns had the full choice to do this, for me, that is, man, like, I think that that's important because I think in what we're actually towards the end of this talk, we're going, or when we talk about each individual match, we will probably talk about what our predictions are for that match, right?
I kind of look like it. I kind of look at it too, like a boxer throwing, or a corner man for a boxer or a fighter throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
Like it's up to if you let an athlete or a performer have their way, whether they're bleeding to death, limbs hanging off, they're gonna fight. They're gonna perform. They're gonna do what it is they are there to do. But you sometimes the corner man, the boss, has to get in your, has to help you help. I gotta help you help yourself. Like I gotta get you out of your own way and tell you to go home. And a man that's had leukemia twice while an epidemic's going on, don't let him get in his own way. Don't let him make that decision. Tell him to go home.
So I don't know how wrestling works and who is your corner man. I don't know if it's the bookers. I don't. You know how like back in the day in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Their corner man.
All right. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like back in the 70s, 80s, the bookers really were the ones that had the power, right? So they were the ones I guess you kind of went to. And I think today that buck does stop with Vince McMahon. Now, like I said, I'm going to stay on the bandwagon. If Vince went up to Roman and said, "Hey, this is your decision," then I'm fine with it. Now we'll talk about a little bit of the circumstance that actually made him pull out when we talk about the title match in a little bit. So, what else? Is there any like? I mean, we had the Roman Reigns crisis. I think at first the idea of wrestling in front of an empty arena was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
The first
time they did it was ridiculous.
Well, the first two times, Raw and SmackDown.
First time they did it was ridiculous.
Absolutely terrible. And AEW did a really good job of watching what they did wrong and making their show phenomenal. Because for an empty arena show, that show for that Wednesday night show,
I thought some obvious stuff went wrong. Like, don't leave the mics hot above the ring.
Man, they were super hot. Like seeing them call out or hearing them call out those shots, that kind of ruined wrestling a little bit for me there. I turned it off. Also, there was another thing with one of the European broadcasts. When they went to commercial break, they showed the women just stop in the middle of the ring and they stopped wrestling and they just like talked to each other, like during the break because it was an empty arena, so they didn't have to carry on for a crowd. So that was, I thought that was pretty redonkulous. To be honest with you,
they did it wrong.
But listen, this is Vince McMahon's biggest show. This is, we're talking millions upon billions of dollars. If you lose this show, you lose a lot of money. Now, I think they're already losing a lot of money because they lost ticket revenue, right? Because that's all going to have to be returned to the people. They lost revenue from access. All right, let's talk about WrestleMania weekend. You familiar with what happens?
I'm not.
Okay, so Friday night, I guess you have the SmackDown.
The Hall of Fame ceremony right? is on that weekend. Is all
yeah. And that's, I guess, SmackDown Friday night. And then also on Friday, you can come, like, you can pay an extra fee and come early and you can meet all the wrestlers and, like, the legends. Like, they'll bring in Stone Cold. They'll bring in, like, whoever the legends are for these different pay-per-views. And so you can pay money to have autographs and pictures taken with them, right? And then you have the Hall of Fame ceremony and you have NXT show. So the NXT show got completely cut from the docket. Which NXT is my by far favorite of all of this. Then so NXT got cut. I don't know what they're doing for the Hall of Fame. I haven't seen anything. Maybe they push that back. Maybe they do just like a little short ceremony. The Hall of Fame is such a long show.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy a lot of it. I like to listen to the stories that people tell. I like the unveiling of who's going to be in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. I think the biggest one for me this year was the British Bulldog. They announced the British Bulldog was finally making it in, which I think was a long time coming. I think that all that stuff with the Hart family and all that really just there's no reason why the British Bulldog should be there. Owen Hart should be in the Hall of Fame.
Jeez.
But you know what? That's actually not a WWE call.
Yeah, not his choice. His wife's choice.
His wife's choice, and I think that's totally. Listen,
wrong.
Your husband paid his life. I get it. There was a tragic accident. He shouldn't have been doing the stunt anyways. We know that. But your husband dedicated his whole life to this like entity, to entertaining people. Let him get the recognition he deserves. Yeah. But the British Bulldog finally, and his son Davey Boy Smith Jr. is getting kind of big in the independent scene. So I think I don't think he'll be in WWE, but I think he'll break into AEW soon. That's what I'm gonna call. I think they're going to break it out. It's him, him and Chris Benoit Jr. or whatever. I don't know what his name. Chris Benoit's son.
Is it David Benoit?
David Benoit. It might be. So Chris Benoit's son, who did not die in that tragic murder, suicide.
He was at camp.
He was at camp. Well, is that? He's actually from the first wife, but he was with his mom and not.
Boy, when he got home from camp.
Oh man, let me tell you, he looks just like his dad. Can you imagine that? Like, you look just like your dad who killed his whole family and himself. But him and Davey Boy Smith, they're kind of touring around together. They did a wrestling promotion in Charleston not too long ago. They advertised them, and Gangrel was there, and a few.
I keep seeing Gangrel's face.
Yeah. Apparently, he's a big in the independents around the South there. David Benoit, yeah. So, but yeah, the Hall of Fame happens. The NXT show by far is my favorite, and then the next night is WrestleMania, and then the next night after that is Raw. Now, if you go to buy a ticket package, you can buy a package for the whole weekend.
Oh, I bet that is
Friday to.
I bet that is money.
Yeah, well, like Upper Deck at WrestleMania is only like $200. Like realistic, I was going to go to WrestleMania to sit in the Upper Deck. I wasn't going to pay $1,000 to be in the lower bowl. That doesn't matter to me at this point. Like it's not a concert. Like concerts, I mean, I spent $350 to sit Upper Deck, being close to Jesus Christ himself to see George Strait. Okay,
no.
I spent $150 to see Post Malone in the Upper Deck. All right, so, but for something that's scripted, and I know it's scripted like that, I'm not going to pay that much money, but I wanted to experience WrestleMania itself. So I was actually going to go, to the NXT show, and then I was going to go to Access on Friday, NXT show, and then WrestleMania. I wasn't going to go to SmackDown, I wasn't going to go to Raw, and I wasn't going to go to the Hall of Fame. I thought it'd be really cool to go to the Hall of Fame thing, but I didn't want to spend extra money on that. All right, so WrestleMania, instead of canceling it all, they moved it to the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, which is at Full Sail University, I believe. And so Vince McMahon was kind of doing his due diligence to keep it going. Now, we saw multiple reports throughout the past 2 weeks that Vince was trying to move it there in hopes that Orlando would close down and that he would be able to get kind of a big settlement for money. But in actuality, they recorded WrestleMania last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, the day before on Thursday, Orlando shut down completely. Yeah. So when we watch it on Saturday and Sunday, it's already been been done for over a week.
Done.
So I guess that he decided to go ahead, that the show must go on. And I will give you kudos. I think it needs to. Just for I need it personally.
I think it needed to go. All I thought is it needed to go on without one man. That was all I asked.
Yeah.
Was it going without one man?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with what they decided to do with that. So I don't know if they went through the match or not.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start from the top, or really the bottom of the card. Things that I guess most people wouldn't care as much unless you follow the angles really carefully. So we had this match, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler.
Oh.
Now Otis is he's a tag team wrestler actually. He's with a tag team called Heavy Machinery. Otis and Tucker Knight. So, and they're both really big guys. Otis is this. All right, if you imagine me with a blonde beard, like kind of like this, and a little bit more round and shorter.
Jeez.
Yeah, and wearing suspenders.
What a creature.
All right.
That sounds like.
He you look him up on your phone. I think you'll get a good image of him there. But he has this storyline with Dolph Ziggler where Otis fell in love with the woman he can't have. And why can't he have her, Brett?
Why?
She's hot.
No.
Smoking hot.
And he
is. Solid 10.
And he's Otis. Okay.
And he's Otis. What you hear the name Otis, listen, if your name's Otis, please don't take offense to this. Actually, I don't even care. You can take offense. If your name is Otis, we don't really expect you to look.
Go somewhere else, Otis.
All right. But yeah, so you have Otis there, and as you can see on the screen, covering up my face. That's me if I was short.
Yeah, it's not a very good. Can't see
Yeah.
it, but you know what?
Yeah.
Go home, look up
Yeah,
Otis
listen.
WWE.
Yeah, there you go. So Otis, he falls in love with Mandy Rose, and basically what you see is it's a storyline where he's trying to win her heart. He catches her, like helps her a few times in the match. Like he'll come out to support her, and she'll fall off the ring apron, and he'll be there to catch her. And Royal Rumble happened. He was laying on the ground, and she fell down and landed on his whole body, and he just like
What a sweet fatty.
and lifts her up and puts her on the apron. Now she doesn't win the Royal Rumble. It's okay though. Sweet moment. Well,
he doesn't have that much room to be sweet. He's gonna get diabetes.
That's funny. Well, he might already have it.
Okay.
Because I'll say this because his mom bakes her a cake.
Oh.
Yeah, Otis's mom. She's got to be a lovely woman too.
Gotta be.
I bet you she can get you fed.
Imagine being a lovely woman and farting out a creature like that.
Oh man, that's sad. Well, Otis's mom bakes Mandy Rose a cake, and he gives it. So Otis gives it to Mandy Rose. She's so, oh, that's so sweet. And she like sets it down or something, and Dolph Ziggler comes up after him and talks to her. And he's like, oh, it's a cake for me, and she's like, no, no, no. Otis's mom made this for me. He's like, oh, really? And he puts it on the ground and stomps on it, and wipes his feet. And Otis comes back later, sees it, and he's heartbroken. Skip forward a couple weeks. Otis lands a date with Mandy Rose.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, man, it's every fat guy's dream. Like Otis is living my life. Like I've always been what you call I outkick my coverage a lot in life.
He's lying.
No, seriously.
Okay.
This is one thing I speak the truth on.
All right.
I outkick my coverage a lot. I get solid 8s, when I'm not a solid 8. So
10s to Nick, who's not here today.
That's right. Man, Nick, get ready, get better, man. Coronavirus got you down.
Yep.
I know you're looking at stocks right now. Listen, I saw you sent me a message earlier about a stock you're looking to pick up. I recommend you pick up Carnival. Actually, go with the cruise lines. They're really low right now. But yeah, that's my random stock tip of the day for you from the economics teacher. Now, if you go buy and you lose money, please don't blame me. I was giving that tip to Nick. Actually,
I watched a video on YouTube today.
Yeah.
And the page is called Mr. Terry History.
Is it really?
It was not you.
It was not me.
It's not you.
Please don't go to hey, Mr. Terry, we got the same last name. Maybe you're a cool dude. Keep it up. I'm a history teacher.
But watch our page. Stay on Walrus.
Stay on our page. But yeah, so and he has a date with Mandy Rose, right? And there's some kind of text mix up, and he thinks the date's later.
Oh.
She's there waiting on him. And who comes up whenever she's all sad and lonely? Dolph Ziggler. And he ends up getting the girl. So we've had this storyline now the past couple weeks where, it's just kind of him rubbing in Otis's face. Now, with that being said, Brett, I know you don't know much about Otis, but you do know Dolph Ziggler. Who do you think wins this fight or this match? Knowing how WWE does their storylines, is there something that we can kind of look forward to and expect with it?
I've seen Beauty and the Beast. I know who gets the girl.
The Beast.
Fat-ass is going to win.
So I'm going to say this. I'm actually going against the grain here. I don't think Otis wins this match.
All right.
I think it's too soon. I don't think they put Otis over at all at this point. I think they got to keep Dolph Ziggler.
I say, why put him in an angle like this if you're not going to give him the win?
I don't think they want it to end this way. I think they want a crowd pop for this to end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, the crowd's really invested in this, actually. It's so funny how believable it is for people because, like, you look at this like, yeah, this could happen in real life. Not really. I mean,
you don't outkick your coverage a lot.
Yeah, you don't really outkick your coverage a lot.
It doesn't happen
but
a lot.
Also, like, man, it takes... You know the real life angle. That hot guy, Dolph Ziggler, has to start treating the girl bad, and then she feels bad about it, and then it kind of delays, and then she finally leaves him, and then she settles for the ugly oaf. That's it. I just wrote the storyline for the WWE, so you heard it here first. When you watch WrestleMania, Otis will not win. Dolph Ziggler will go over, and it's going to perpetuate into him being in an abusive relationship with Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose trying to escape, and then Otis has to come to her rescue, and then Otis gets the girl. But the big guy never gets the girl up front.
And they fight at the top of Otis's castle, and Otis knocks Dolph Ziggler off.
That's right. That'd be so good. That'd be terrible.
I've seen that. I told you I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I know you saw the movie. All right, and yeah, so that's that match. The next match on the card is Elias versus King Corbin. All right. Do you know any of these guys?
Yeah, shoot me in the foot before I watch that match.
I mean, I'm about to sneeze, I think, actually, on live camera.
Do
it. Oh, man, the coronavirus got me. No, this hasn't got me. As the pollen, if you're not from the South, the pollen down here is absolutely horrible. And it's so bad that, when you're in the middle of a pandemic and something like this happens, well, people look at you kind of funny whenever you sneeze or cough in public. But yeah, so Elias King Corbin, you say shoot you in the face, or
it's fine.
Like
right in the teeth. Put a bullet right here.
All right, so this match happened. Are you familiar with the backstory how this happened? All right, this is one of those where they had to scrap the U.S. title match because Andrade was kind of sick or pulled out of it because he didn't want to get sick, and so they kind of had to put more matches. So this match was made last week by the host of WrestleMania. You know who that is?
Oh.
Rob Gronkowski.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the host of WrestleMania, and he made this match himself.
The whole situation is gross.
You know what the great thing about this match is? There's no one's invested in it anyways, and
no.
There's no crowd reaction, so it doesn't. It's win-win for the WWE because they can just do this match and nothing consequential happened for him. Basically, Elias has been interrupting King Corbin like he interrupts people, but now Elias is the babyface.
Well,
people actually like him.
Yeah.
So
I like him.
And I imagine Elias will actually win this fight.
Good.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Good.
You want to go?
Yeah,
Elias
I'll agree. And if King Corbin wins anything ever again, I hope the whole company gets shut down.
You know they say he's such a you read interviews that the people talk about. He's a really good guy. He's a locker room favorite. People in the locker room love him.
That's right.
He just doesn't.
That's so good.
He doesn't resonate with the fans much. I don't know why. You think he's trying too hard?
Boring.
I mean, he's that big type of character where you could believe he could actually win in a fight. And that's one of your big qualms with WWE. Yeah. They don't have that. And he played NFL.
He's Gold Gloves boxer too.
Yeah. So he's actually legit, bad A.
But he doesn't do much when he's in the ring.
That's true.
He doesn't do much.
That's very true.
He's just kind of there.
He's kind of a boring character, and I also think that's a product of the new age WWE. How they don't really have much character development.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with anybody they have.
All right, next match on the docket. I would be excited about, but once again, there's no storyline. No. This is just like a basic house show match you would see. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Now, here's the thing. Bobby Lashley, legit bad A, right? I wouldn't want to be punched in the face by the guy. You know what this match should be, though, right? This should be Rusev versus Bobby Lashley and Lana flipping back to Rusev. Bless you. Oh, it's spread already.
Oh, God.
Got it.
It is airborne.
It is airborne. But yeah, so that should be the match, right? Because Lana's still with Bobby, but this should be the payoff where Lana goes back to her actual husband in real life. I think Rusev's in contract. I think contract. There's a contract dispute between Rusev and the WWE. Lana's already re-upped, but Rusev isn't. I don't think he was excited about the money offer he got. So I think there's a dispute with that. So we get Aleister Black.
He's a guy who should at some point he looks like a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but he has that weird transition to looking like Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
That mustache kind of threw me off a little bit, and he's kind of a gimmicky person now. He's
but he should have been. He should have never been a gimmicky person. He looks like a heavyweight champion.
He should be kind of like the Authors of Pain, right? Like big brute force.
You know what he reminds me of?
Who?
This is a weird one, and I hope you know this reference.
Okay.
Dan Severn.
Oh, he came into the WWE at the same time around Ken Shamrock time, right?
Well, he was a UFC champion.
But he came into the WWE. He transitioned with.
He reminds me of Dan Severn.
Dan the Man Severn, you say? Dan the Man Severn, you say? I could see that. Other than Except, Rusev can't really talk great English, but yeah. No, I can see he's kind of built like that.
Yeah.
I understand it. All right, so but back to this match. Aleister Black, are you familiar with any of his work?
Yeah, a little bit.
I love the character. Love what he can do in the ring. Don't get the storyline. Why are you fighting?
Yeah, why are we doing this?
Are you just think he's like a legit tough guy? I go Aleister Black wins this match.
Really?
I got Aleister Black winning.
I'll go the other way.
Yeah, I don't think Bobby Lashley is going to be getting a push. I think it's all about Aleister Black. All right. So far I have voted Dolph Ziggler, Elias, and Bobby Lashley. So those are my picks so far.
I'll take Otis, Elias,
and Bobby.
All right, so to win. Yeah,
to win. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you took Aleister.
No, I took Aleister.
Okay.
Yeah, you took Bobby. We only have one the same. We both took Elias. Yeah. So now if King Corbin was this, I have no faith in WWE.
Shoot me.
All right, the next one. Now this is a monkey in the wrench here. SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Miz and John Morrison, champions, versus The New Day versus the Usos in a ladder match.
The Miz gives everybody the virus.
The Miz didn't participate in this match. It's literally John Morrison versus the other two teams. That's what I've read. I've read everywhere that it says.
Why is the WWE like this?
This is CBS Sports actually saying this.
Why are they like this?
Yeah, they said all right. PW Insider reported on Friday that The Miz did not take part in the WrestleMania 36 taping, so he was not in the match. But this match was still in the docket.
But
so Morrison wrestled both of them. Here you go. All right.
I hope.
All right.
I hope. He gets hurt in a backstage segment or something. Something happens to him backstage.
Who, The Miz?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Something happens to him backstage in a segment.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't come out. But if he's just not there, all right, it's time for the tag team titles, and Miz is not here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I never thought about how they were going to do that.
Yeah, maybe something.
I guess something
not show up, and something has to happen to him.
You know what it could be? They could say he not show up, or like. What happens is like they end up like John Morrison is the one who ends up taking him out. I bet they would have a great one-on-one series. I can see that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Something has to happen. I can see that. Now, get this right. So this is a great lineup. If the Miz was here, this is a perfect match.
Yeah.
The Usos and New Day wrestle each other a lot, and they have a lot of chemistry. It's kind of like you think back like the Harlem Heat versus Steiner Brothers, right? A lot of chemistry was in those matches. You could tell they were comfortable with each other. They wrestled up and down the East Coast. People love those matches. Same way with the New Day and the Usos. I got a barn burner here for you.
Oh,
John Morrison wins the match.
Yep.
I'm with you. Retains the title by himself.
I'm with you.
All right. And then talks about how he doesn't really need the Miz to do anything to be a champion because he's the best ever. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Yeah.
And then the Miz comes back and they start to rival. That's where I'm going with that. I would, if from a non-podcast perspective, as a fan, I would hate that outcome because there's no reason why that should happen.
No.
Except if he just climbs up the cage while the other two teams are fighting each other. But what'll happen is those two teams will gang up on him, slam him through a table. Okay.
Yeah.
Or like beat him up real bad where he'll be on the ground for the whole match because that's going to happen in the beginning. And then both teams are going to be down and he's going to scamper up and win the title.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
I'm
calling it here. Guys, obviously, I don't know because I'm not one of those privileged people, but I've watched a lot of wrestling in 30 years. I don't miss Raw or SmackDown. I don't miss AEW Dynamite. But that's what I'm calling for this match.
And then when the virus is over, when all this pandemic is over, we're going to see a Miz versus Roman Reigns feud because the Miz tried to kill him.
That had to be after the John Morrison feud. Like, literally, he has to beat John Morrison and then goes. That'd be a great angle.
Yeah.
Be like Roman Reigns comes out.
Tried to kill me.
And like, you legitimately tried to kill me.
You tried to kill me.
And like, what kind of, man, talking about using your illness to your advantage, and the crowd would pop so hard over that.
I have leukemia, dick. You came into work sick.
Yeah. What are you doing? But that's how that match goes. All right. There's another one. Here.
The next match on the card
is the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Are you familiar with the Street Profits?
Nope.
Okay, they were NXT born and bred. Okay.
Woo!
They actually like them. They're funny. They're the if you ever watched any of the things recently, they're the two black guys who do the backstage interview type things. That's those guys. Okay. They're the tag team champions. Oh. Yeah, they beat Rollins and Murphy actually for the titles. But they're actually really good wrestlers, like phenomenally good. And Andrade and Angel Garza. Angel Garza is like Andrade's cousin who took out Rey Mysterio or whatever. Okay. This match was originally a fatal 4-way for the U.S. title, and Andrade got pulled out because of he got hurt or something. So I don't actually know what they decided to do with this match. I said, well, that won't be happening as WWE announced that champion Andrade will be teaming up with Garza to challenge Montez. Oh, so here you go. Rey Mysterio got he got the coronavirus, or he got quarantined for it, and someone else. So they ended up changing that to this title match. So I guess Andrade is good actually. Okay. So all right, I like the Street Profits. I'm gonna take them there.
I'll take the champs.
That's Street Profits. Yep. Okay. All right. So we're both in agreement there. I now could see this. The WWE is desperately trying to develop Hispanic talent. Like they need that type of pop.
Do you remember
when Rey Mysterio was young and great? Yes.
2004 to 2006 SmackDown.
Okay,
that is all they did.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, but
please tune in, Hispanic audience.
Yeah, but wouldn't you, like as an white American, a Southern white American? Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero was the highlight of my high school WWE.
I'm just saying, like it was. Yeah, they went very strong.
Well, you know they actually had a program on like Hispanic television where it was like all Hispanic wrestlers, and it was the WWE's putting it on. So there's a lot of audience there that they want to tap into. It's the same way. Listen, you got to be realistic when you look at things. The New Day is so popular amongst Black Americans. Why would the WWE undercut them, in the wrestling industry where they can really utilize them? Like, I'm not saying that only Black Americans like the New Day, because there's a ton of white people who love the New Day. The New Day is hilarious. They're really funny, witty. They get, they can get into weird situations and get out of those situations.
Debatable.
Which part? The funny?
Yep.
Oh. Well, they have some funny moments. Okay, they're you don't like props, which is why you don't think they're funny.
Yeah,
they use props to be funny. They spill out in Dragon Ball Z uniforms, and this is hilarious stuff that you don't think is hilarious. But the New Day, think about this. Like last year, Wrestlemania, Kofi Kingston wins the title. Huge, first Black champion since. You don't even count The Rock. The Rock doesn't even get counted in that.
And
he's like Samoan.
Yeah. Samoan.
Smoked him. Yeah, but like they did Kofi Kingston did an interview with someone, I think on a podcast. He was talking about that. He said he had no problem at all with it. Okay. He said he was just thankful that he had the opportunity to hold the title as long as he did. Because I don't think anyone thought he was going to hold the title that long.
Yeah.
But this is, from what he's saying, this is actually Kofi Kingston's last run. Like he said he's got about another year or two in him.
Okay.
He said he's retiring completely. He's got a young family. He's made a lot of money.
Oh,
a ton of money with the New Day. Merchandise money? Everyone I have a New Day shirt. I'll wear it next time we do a podcast. I wear a blue New Day shirt.
Thank God. Tune in next
time. And it says just wiggle with it. All right.
Thank God. Tune in next time.
That's right. More reason to tune in next time on the Walrus and Comic Sports. That's all we got for today, folks. We're gone. I'm just kidding. All right. So that's that match. All right. The next one. I'm actually excited about this match.
Are we getting into people that matter? Is that going to happen here?
We're about halfway there. All right. You ready? The next match. The Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. All right. Are you familiar with what they're doing with Daniel Bryan right now?
I'm not.
Okay. So, Daniel Bryan on the last pay-per-view wrestled a guy named Drew Gulak, who he said that he had the key to beating Daniel Bryan. He's been trying to train people up to do it. Basically, he's kind of like Oh man, who do you remember the wrestler in the 2000s who was like the Harvard graduate who was smarter than
Chris
everyone?
Nowinski.
Christopher Nowinski. Kind of, he's a new age Christopher Nowinski, essentially.
See how much I know about it when it mattered?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So basically, he wrestles him. They have a really good match. If you like technical wrestling, that was the match. It wasn't much high flying. It was a lot of submissions, a lot of old school wrestling as we call it down here in the South.
That's what I like.
And so it was a great match. So after basically the next week, Drew Gulak actually partners up with Daniel Bryan, and now he's kind of mentoring Bryan to get him back to where he should be. You know, yeah, it's like that type of role. And Sami Zayn, he won the Intercontinental title against Braun Strowman, but it was a 3-on-1 match. It was Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Cesaro. And Sami Zayn ends up winning the title.
This is why I can't do it. This is why I cannot sit in front of my television and do this.
It was no DQ.
Okay.
Like, it was a no DQ match. So basically, they had a reason. Now, it could have also been they were trying to plan for something else if Roman Reigns wasn't able to do WrestleMania. Remember, this virus, at this point, the virus is ravaging China, hasn't really gotten here yet. So this might have been something that they thought about, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. So I mean, I don't really. I'm not. None of these matches are overly exciting me right now. Except
not at all.
I like the Otis Dolph one just from that storyline. I know you don't, but like I do like that storyline because hey, I'm a bad guy. So
this is by a huge. I will say by the largest margin of like if we rate WrestleManias from best to worst. This is last place.
This is bottom 5.
This is last place.
There might be one that's worse.
This is last place.
We got to see how the matches actually turn out.
Okay. All right. If we're just going on paper and we're just reading the matches out. We're not reviewing how they went. We're just reading it on paper. This is the worst one. Is last.
Yeah.
And
hey,
this is
be gentle with the table. You're hitting the table too hard.
This is the largest gap.
Yeah.
Like I
feel like I'm reading out a Monday Night Raw.
The rest of the field has lapped in 50 times.
Yeah.
They're way behind.
I feel like I'm reading out a Monday Night Raw lineup. Yeah. I really do.
This WrestleMania.
All right. So Sami Zayn is going to win this match. I'm going to go with the champion here. I don't think this title can flip. I don't think they're going to flip every title. This is the one that stays the same. Daniel Bryan.
If this is the card, they shouldn't flip any of them.
Well, I mean, there's a couple.
I mean, I know they have to, but.
All right, next match that matters. A good match. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. All right, are you familiar with the storyline?
Man, give me a storyline.
All right, storyline's this. Rollins is the Monday Night Messiah. He's the savior of Raw because remember, Survivor Series Raw got swept except for one match on the undercard. And so he's the savior of Raw.
No,
he's got him, Buddy Murphy, and the Authors of Pain are all teamed up together. And the segment,
he's dragging the Authors of Pain down with him. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So the past couple months, you've had the Viking Raiders, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe, and someone else inserted in because Samoa Joe got injured, and then he got suspended and injured again. Poor guys. Yeah. It's Samoa
we'll
Joe.
Call it injured.
Oh shoot, sorry for hitting the table there. But yeah, it's been an interesting kind of lineup for that type of thing. So now it's all coming to a head. Kevin Owens finally getting Seth Rollins one-on-one. Yeah, they're gonna fight it out. A few weeks ago, the Authors of Pain and Buddy Murphy laid out Kevin Owens. Destroyed him in the backstage. Before you can get in.
Somebody has to. Seth Rollins can't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't really lay much hands on anyone. Actually, to be honest with you,
good.
Other people do his work for him.
He shouldn't.
True. Okay, so I'm guessing you're going Kevin Owens on this one.
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope WWE is smart enough to not let Seth Rollins do anything.
Yeah.
Take a suitcase, put all his gear on it, and make him go home.
The WWE love Seth Rollins.
I hate it. I know they do, and I hate it.
He's Vince McMahon's guy.
I hate him.
Just as much as Roman Reigns is.
Roman Reigns is so much better than Seth Rollins. It's not funny.
That's so funny that you say that.
I don't think you get how much I hate Seth Rollins.
I know you do. Well, if you could tell Seth Rollins something right now, look at the camera, speak into the mic, what would you say to Seth Rollins?
Do us all a favor and get a desk job.
That's rough, dude.
Okay.
You don't think he has any talent? I think Seth Rollins could be a borderline one of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time.
I think he's an athlete. I think he is an athlete. Don't hand him a microphone.
Is he like?
Do not hand him a microphone.
You think he's as dislikable as Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
You know, like
it's just like if we saw Shawn Michaels outside the ring personality in the ring. It's like he is just every time you hand him a microphone and he starts cutting any promo about anything, I'm like, he's not good at this and I hate him.
Yeah.
He's not good at this and I hate him.
It sounds like you have a lot of hate or disdain for Seth Rollins. But remember,
if you're going to stay in WWE, go to the headquarters and answer phones for him.
Hey, remember, he can be your savior. He's
go answer phones.
All right.
Hello, this is WWE headquarters. So how can I help you today?
You said Kevin Owens. I really want to go Kevin Owens here.
It would be horrible reading that line.
Yeah, I know. Listen. You don't like Seth Rollins. We get it.
He would be horrible.
I gave you the opportunity to say what you want. Now let it go.
He would be horrible reading that line. Welcome to WWE headquarters. May I help you? He couldn't sell that.
Do you think he could sell our podcast? Thank you for tuning in to the Walrus and Comic Sports Podcast. You think he could do that?
He couldn't sell
that
water.
Raspy.
He could not sell water to a beached fish.
Oh, poor guy. That bad, man. I hate that you hate him that much. But you know what? Maybe that's what Vince wants you to do, is to hate him that much. Maybe you're falling into.
But see, it's causing me to not watch it.
That's true.
It's causing me to be like, if he's in the main event, it ain't happening for me.
He hasn't been a main eventer in a while.
Thank God.
He's more like middle of the card towards the end.
Much too high.
Yeah, come on, man. Give the guy a break. All right, I'm gonna go Seth Rollins.
All right.
Because I like Kevin Owens, and I hope Kevin Owens wins. But I think logically, for Seth Rollins' gimmick to get over, he has to win this match.
Okay, I can see that.
All right, Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a boneyard match.
Let the man go home. Let him go home.
Hey, you sound like AJ Styles right now. Have you watched any of those promos?
Yeah.
Man, like a neutered dog.
Let him go play golf.
I don't think Undertaker plays golf.
I'd let him go watch CNN, Fox News, whatever it is.
He's definitely a Fox Newser.
Whatever it is they do at that age, go let him do it, please.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, this is the Undertaker's daily life. He wakes up. He pisses excellence.
He hurts.
Yeah.
His bones creak.
He uses his walker to get to the toilet.
He wakes up.
But the piss is excellent. It's an excellent piss. Right? And he gets in.
It creaks when he does
He sits down and eats his bowl of fruit with a little bit of yogurt and wheat toast that his wife fixes him.
It's like I imagine he stands at the toilet and it's like you play Apex. You ever use the Havoc rifle?
Yeah.
It's like
I watched him fail with that.
It's like cranking up an old machine. Like he's standing in front of the toilet and you can hear everything turning on, all the gears trying to turn, and then it starts and it cuts off again. And then it starts again.
Yeah.
All right? And they want him to wrestle. And all his gears won't hardly turn anymore.
Yeah, I know. Man, but he does care about saving the Tigers.
Hey, you want to come break some hips? Yeah!
Well, he had that hip replaced. It's not even real. He can't even break it now. It's like plastic or whatever.
Leave the old man alone!
Yeah, and they put him in this match that they haven't actually explained. Nobody knows what a boneyard match is. AJ Styles didn't explain. He just said, I challenge him to a boneyard match.
In WWE's history, nobody knew what those dumbass matches were.
The gimmick matches are the worst.
Yeah.
Like that. I think it's just the kind of, it's there so that Undertaker can use weapons to make him not look as bad as he really is. That's
just stand in one place and swing a chair.
The Undertaker wins this. and it's his last WrestleMania.
Thank God.
That's what I'm calling. And this is why I actually wanted to go to WrestleMania, because they've been saying Undertaker versus AJ Styles since the beginning of last year, and that's their last hurrah. So I was wanting to go watch the Undertaker one more time.
You let the man fold his trench coat up. You let him put his hat on it. You let him put his gloves on it, and you let him leave. And you called him back. How many months later?
I know.
Leave it alone.
I know. The money, man. It's the money. Like, all right, you can be done physically, right? All right, you could right now. We're here recording a podcast, but if Dana White called you up, listen, if Dana White called you up and said, "We'll give you $2 million to step in the octagon with so and so right now," or in a month, you're going to take.
We will have this conversation twice in this episode. It falls on the man that's supposed to be looking out for you. Stop offering me money. Yeah. I can't do it right now.
Well, he's also like an attraction, and people want to see him.
You should know better if you're the boss.
People want to see him.
Protect your guys.
Hey, you pay $3 million to Goldberg to go to Saudi Arabia to win a title.
Protect your guys.
I know. I get it. I do. But I think they wanted to give him one last way out to win a match and be done. I hope. It's time to put the Undertaker in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's got to stop wrestling to get in the Hall of Fame.
Let him go home.
Let him go home and play with his Tigers.
Yeah.
All right. Next match. Okay. A SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bayley, the champion, versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. So, I don't get this match for a lot of reasons. Number one, Sasha Banks and Bayley are best friends right now in storyline. Mm-hmm. They're basically inseparable. We've seen the Sasha Banks turn on Bayley so many times. So the only reason this is going to happen is Bayley is going to have to turn on Banks first. Because Bayley's a bad girl now. That's the only way it works.
Gross.
Tamina, listen, that woman's like 45. It's time to get her out of the ring. Yeah. She's not really... All right.
Not attraction.
Isn't she Jimmy Snuka's daughter?
Yeah.
I imagine.
Still not an attraction.
Yeah, Vince is doing it as a favor to Jimmy Snuka. It's got to be. That's got to be it. Because she doesn't have any wrestling.
Jesus, if you want to do a favor to Jimmy Snuka, just go murder somebody.
So maybe he paid off the murder.
Like pay homage to Jimmy Snuka and go kill somebody. That's what you do for him. Send me home.
I really like Lacey Evans. She's the former Marine booked from South Carolina. Oh. So she, I like her. She's playing the role of, she's got to be a genuine Southern woman to show all ladies how they should act.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So that's her. Now they do kind of poke at Southern dialect and
of course they do. They're a New York company.
Yeah. So they've poked it out a little too much, but I think her character, she plays it really well. She does really.
They forget what Stone Cold Steve Austin did for that company. Huh?
That's right. He saved it.
Yeah.
He kept it from going under.
As much
as we can say, the Undertaker was important to Vince. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Undertaker's a Texas.
Yeah, I know, but still, Stone Cold Steve Austin legitimately saved the company.
They got a lot of stuff from the South to be poking fun at it, huh?
That's right. Hey, man. Look, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Texas. Jesus, if you're born in the state of Texas and you like wrestling, you should probably...
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, you should probably join wrestling yourself, So
Shelton Benjamin.
Where is he? He's from Oklahoma, isn't he?
He's from South Carolina.
Oh, no, Orangeburg, South Carolina. That's right. I'm sorry.
All the stuff
that... Jack Swagger was built out of...
All the stuff Oklahoma. We've done for the WWE. Huh?
Yeah. And that's how they betray us?
Yeah.
The South. Listen. South saved WWE from WCW. Think of if Stone Cold doesn't get screwed over by WCW...
we call him Rick Flair, North Carolina. Or we call him Wisconsin.
Oh, he's North Carolina. He's a Southern boy. Legitimately. He is a Southern boy. He made his living in the South.
Ha, rednecks, huh, Vince?
He left the Midwest to come to the South and wrestled all through the East Coast. My grandfather, before he died, was a police officer in the county, and he escorted Ric Flair down the aisle at the old Winyah Auditorium in Georgetown, South Carolina. He was the police escort for him at the show. And he I think Ric Flair handed him the robe to hold and take back for him or something.
Man.
And he got his autograph. Like in my baby book somewhere, there's an autograph of Ric Flair, Flying Brian Pillman, like some big time names from the 90s, 80s and 90s. But Flying Brian Pillman was one of my favorite wrestlers early on. For mid card, he was one of my favorites. All right. So that women's title match, it's gonna be stupid. I go Bailey retains, but she turns on Sasha Banks.
Here's a good opportunity.
What?
To compare mid-carders.
Ooh.
Brian Pillman and Seth Rollins.
Alright, so I don't think Seth Rollins is a mid-carder.
Brian Pillman.
I don't think Seth Rollins is a mid-carder.
Where do you think he is?
He's a main eventer. He really is. He really is. He's not a mid-carder. Flying Brian had the tag team title.
I don't think he's a referee.
Flying Brian had the tag team title and whatever WCW's IC title was.
He had so much more emotion and charisma and everything.
Yeah, but he was also nuts, legitimately, suicidal,
Whatever gets it done, babe.
Yeah, whatever gets it done. I mean, I like Flying Brian Pillman, but I gotta get Seth Rollins over that because I think Seth Rollins is the main eventer.
Keep going with the card.
I mean, listen, you want to give me a legitimate mid card question? I'm fine to field those answers. Mid carders that matter. Yeah. All right.
You know what I'm trying to do.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to say Seth Rollins isn't worth a can of beans. But you know what? He is, boy. All right. Here we go. NXT Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Now, I want to preface this by saying Brett and I spent the last hour before this podcast watching NXT War Games the same weekend as the Royal Rumble.
So I could understand who everybody was.
Yeah, so he could see who Rhea Ripley really is.
Right. I was pleased.
He was very pleased.
I was pleased. And I think she beats Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put Charlotte Flair back on NXT.
I think she beats Charlotte Flair.
Because if they were going to do that, Charlotte would have to go back. She's a main attraction. She's Ric Flair's daughter. That has a lot to do with it. Now, granted,
but how strange is it
to really
lose and then stay at main?
Oh, that
is... To lose to somebody in minor leagues and just stay a main eventer.
Well, and you know what? I think what they're going to do is Rhea Ripley retains the title. And then next taping of NXT, they do a ceremony for her and they move her up to either SmackDown or Raw. I think she started out NXT UK, tore the house down, went to NXT, tore the house down. She's the next big wrestler from
what do you do to a UFC champion if he loses to a guy from the Ultimate Fighter?
Sorry.
That hadn't won the Ultimate Fighter yet. Season's still going on.
For the record, WWE is scripted, and the UFC so far is not. Okay. So I think you can see where we're going with that. Yeah. All right, here we go. The next one. Your girl, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Now, you also saw Shayna Baszler in that War Games match. She was the one who got handcuffed to Rhea Ripley and got the pump handle slam through the chairs.
I'll go Becky Lynch this one.
I know you're a big Becky Lynch girl. I think it's so Becky Lynch's thing with this match is she's beaten everyone. Mm-hmm. She hasn't beaten Shayna Baszler, and she doesn't on this card. Shayna Baszler becomes your new champion.
Okay.
And then it's going to give more life to the man thing, right? It's going to make her push harder. She'll take some time away, and she'll come back revigorated and go after Baszler. Baszler's she held the NXT women's title for over a year and a half or something. So yeah, she's another one of those next big thing type of people. All right, here we go. Exciting match for you: The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in a Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh God! Another one of those atrocities.
One of the gimmicks. Yeah.
Another one of those, as they call them in the wrestling business, abortions.
Well, I think this one's going to be more like. Are you familiar with the Hardy Brothers when they were doing their thing in TNA where they had their house for the compound?
Compound.
Yeah, the compound.
Yep.
I think this is going to be more kind of like that.
Okay.
I think. Okay. Now, no one knows. if they do it right, if they choreograph it right, that could be really good. So we see the return of John Cena. He has not wrestled in over a year and a half, 2 years, almost 2 years. He basically relocated to China, learned Mandarin Chinese, and has been the WWE person in China.
And he's been allowed to come back here?
I mean, he came back. I think he came back
down.
like half a year ago, so he's been back for a while.
This is a joke. Calm down.
Yeah, I know. But so basically, John Cena, he came out, stood in the ring. Guys, you want to know what I'm doing at WrestleMania? I'm doing the right thing. I'm not wrestling anyone. And then the Fiend comes out and points to the sign, and he looks, and he's basically accepted the match.
Okay.
I like it from the point of I think John Cena is good for the company. He's paid his dues. He doesn't want to break Ric Flair's title reign. Mm-hmm. I think that's respectable.
Yeah.
Because he was given the keys to the kingdom. He had the opportunity. They were going to put it on the last run. He came in. He said no. So I'm not going to carry the company anymore. That's respectable. I'll give him that. Does a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff. Really great guy. He puts the Fiend over in this match. I'm calling it. The Fiend wins to make him a legitimate character after the whatever Goldberg did to him thing. That was the stupidest thing. But we know why he did it. He did it so that the Fiend would not be booed versus Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. So that's why all that happened. But yeah, I think John Cena comes back. He does what's right for Bray Wyatt and puts him over. And Bray Wyatt becomes the next version of what we know as The Undertaker. And I think they bring out a real Sister Abigail. And I think it's going to be the girl from... she's already on one of the promotions, SmackDown or Raw. She was in the... her name is escaping me right now. But she would be a really good fit. She's blonde, like white blonde hair. She was in the last pay-per-view in the Elimination Chamber match. But she's she was in the Riot Squad.
Oh,
not Ruby Riot, but the other girl.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, so but I think that's who they bring out as like Sister Abigail. I think this becomes the legitimate incarnation of what they imagine it would be. And also Bruce Pritchard is he's the guy who does the Firefly Funhouse stuff, and I think he really likes it, and I think it's going to continue going because it's over with the fans. All right. I'm gonna save the one that's gonna be your favorite match for last.
Every match on this card,
yeah,
feels grossly undercooked. Like they have not done enough to set them up.
They haven't. The only one that's been set up
house shows.
All right, the only one that's actually been set up is the Otis Dolph Ziggler match.
This is a house show.
Yeah, Otis Dolph Ziggler, the Miz and Morrison match. That match was set up pretty well. The Street Profits and Andrade was a 3-week setup. Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan is like a 1-week setup. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, 3-month setup. That was a good one. AJ Styles, Undertaker, 1-month setup. The Bayley versus everyone is no real setup there. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, a 3-month thing. Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, ever since Shayna came back and bit off a part of her neck. Did you see that?
No. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so that's a couple of months there. The Fiend, John Cena, not much. We'll go back to your guy later. All right, let's go to the Universal Championship match. Goldberg versus Roman Reigns?
No.
Question mark?
Not anymore.
I've heard reports that it's going to be Goldberg versus Braun Strowman.
Whatever happened,
I don't know what it is. Done. Yeah, so I don't know what it is.
Whatever happened, it's done.
This is going to be a surprise.
Is this already recorded? How do people know? How do we know yet?
So, these arenas are empty. So
yeah.
The only people there are WWE staff.
But you know how hard it is to not leak something these days?
Well, I mean, but you know how bad it would be if you would leak something during this time? When there's no one else there, you can figure out it's either the cameraman or it's the announcers. It's or a wrestler, but I think Vince put everyone on hush mode. Like no one can really do anything right now. So I don't know who it's going to be versus Goldberg, but Goldberg's got to lose, and then it's going to set up.
We can hope. We can hope he loses.
I say Goldberg loses, and it's going to set up whoever wins versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns will beat whoever wins, and it'll be Roman Reigns versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt next WrestleMania.
Oh.
That's what happens. That's my one year plan for it. So we'll see if I'm right.
If they're smart.
If they're smart. If they listen to me.
They have a history of not being smart.
Hey, Vince McMahon, if you're here about the podcast, the Walrus Comic Podcast Sports Report, you can reach out to me. I'm the Walrus. I can give you a lot of really good ideas that'll save you a lot of money.
They have a history of not using brain power.
That's true. All right. The other title match that I'm really excited about. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar.
Drew McIntyre wins.
I'm really excited about this match.
He's gonna win. It's such a good match.
I actually think this match will be good.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of great Brock Lesnar matches in the past 5 years.
I feel like this could be Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
Level. Like, I think it could be good.
If it's that level, then I will be totally satisfied with that being the go-home match.
Like, I think it would be good.
I think Drew McIntyre wins.
Yeah.
I've read that Brock Lesnar's really big on him and is okay losing to him. Think of this, all right? You're Brock Lesnar. You are a genetic freak. You can't lose to some.
You look and are way meaner than everybody else.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre is one of the few guys
who looks as mean as you are
and standing toe to toe with you. I think they've done a good job building this match up. Drew McIntyre came out a couple weeks ago and Claymore kicked Brock Lesnar 5 times in a row. Yeah, it was great. Absolutely great. Came out, Claymore kicked him, and then he walks out, and he comes back in, Claymore kicks him. Brock's going up the ramp, comes back out, Claymore kicks him. Oh, it was great. Absolutely great. I want to go. All right, so we've already predicted that Drew McIntyre is going to win. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I think Paul Heyman screws over Brock Lesnar, and he goes with Drew McIntyre. Let me be right, please.
That's what people thought he was going to do with Roman Reigns.
That's what they thought. But I think Drew McIntyre is the actual guy that can, because I don't think the fans will sustain their cheer for Drew McIntyre as long as the WWE thinks they will.
Wow.
Because I think that he is a natural heel.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's a true heel.
Yeah.
Like not a yay heel.
Yeah. He's a real
true heel.
Edge, Randy Orton.
Well, I don't even think they're like. They're heels.
Edge was a shit heel.
Yeah, but Randy Orton was still likable while he was a heel.
In 2005, when he was
punting the heads.
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about in 2005, 2006, when he was telling Rey Mysterio, "I'm glad Eddie Guerrero's in hell."
Oh yeah, he had like 2 or 3 good years of it, but then after that, he became so likable on his next babyface flip, not hip. The fans really started growing fond of him.
What a line, also.
What?
Oh, do you remember that when you watched
I did watch that
because you could see on his face how much he didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I think my mom and dad watched that episode with me, and I think my mom's like, "All right, that's enough of this, bull crap."
You could see on his face how much he didn't want to say it. Like you could see him bracing himself. He was like, Eddie's not in heaven, he's down there in hell. And he was, you just see in his face after he said it, he's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
You know what I was actually really excited about for this show is if Rey Mysterio wasn't sick, he was in this. And I think this was the debut of Dominic.
Oh.
His son is actually training to be a wrestler. And so the idea is that there's going to be one last year for Rey Mysterio to go tour with his son and help him learn the road. That's the actual thing. Because, how crazy is it? Little Dominic, who they fought over custody for, is now bigger than you.
Yeah.
And he as big as me. That's what's crazy. But that's not going to happen now. All right. Last match of the card. And I saved this for last because it's your favorite.
My 2 boys.
It's your 2 boys. We have Edge versus Randy Orton, last man standing match. Now, I'm fine with that gimmick. I think that gimmick has to be there for the type of build-up it had. I think it also has to be there to kind of protect Edge a little bit because you can do. Randy Orton's really good with weapons.
Yeah,
he's one of the best in the business, is what people said. For you to lay there and take a concerto from somebody was one of the most dangerous things. He's one of the best in the business
at everything.
Yeah, he's good. I'll give you that. He's good. If he could just stay healthy.
Yeah,
shoulders.
Stay off drugs.
stay off drugs. Well, you got that wife now. She can probably keep him healthy. So, yeah, this match, the build up, fabulous. Royal Rumble started there. You know, Edge throws Randy out, and how it goes. Or no, Randy throws Edge out.
Yeah, Randy throws Edge out.
Yeah, and then you have this thing that come out. Hey, let's form. No, I thought it was
Edge through.
Yeah, that's what I said first, and you gave me a weird look.
It looked like Randy Orton was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And Edge caught him looking and threw him out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said that, and then you came and gave me this look like I was wrong, and I was like, I don't think it. Yeah. So, Edge throws Randy out, sets up the next night. He's there, and he's talking, and then Randy Orton comes out, and he's like, I missed you. You saved my life. You did all this stuff for me. Let's reform Rated RKO. And at that moment, I was excited. Everyone, did you hear the pop the crowd gave? Because everyone was ready for that, and it happened. And then he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then turns on him, hits him with a concerto, and he's out for a month and a half. And then let's make it even better. They bring Beth Phoenix into the ring, like a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and they put her in there, and she's talking. And it looks really hard for her to do it and stuff. You see it. She's talking to the mic, and Randy Orton comes out. I did this for you, so you didn't have to bury him. I did this for your girls. And then he ends up RKOing her. Randy Orton, he just, what a great heel. All right. What a great heel. You're right. Great heel. And Edge. This new look he has, the weight he's lost and stuff, he looks like Rob Zombie. Like, in the face. And, like, that mad look he has, but his cheeks are caved in.
Do you also remember the scope, how much people hated Edge when he was with Lita?
100%.
Okay.
Because you remember that was a storyline developed out of a real life event.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think that added to the hate, because he legitimately cheated. Like, Lita legitimately cheated on Matt Hardy with Edge, and they turned it into a real storyline where Matt Hardy jumps a guardrail and unscriptedly tries to beat the crap out of Edge. Like, that part was a whole storyline. That's kind of when people said they went too far, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Because I was out of this world. All right. But who wins the match? Your two favorite guys?
Edge.
Yeah.
Because this is his last one.
That's not his last one.
You don't think it's his last one?
No, he signed like a 10-fight contract.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's back.
Oh.
He's back. He's on a limited schedule. Yeah. They have him on like a Brock Lesnar deal.
Edge wins.
I still go Edge too.
Because he's just coming back.
Yeah.
You got to get him.
And I think Randy Orton's the type of guy. He's been treated well by the business. He's made a lot of money. He's going to do right by his legitimate friend.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be actually really awesome. So.
And it's gonna be so good.
That match is best match on
so good.
Actually, the Brock Lesnar McIntyre match.
It's gonna be close between those two.
But that's the best match on the card. I'm excited about it. So that's our predictions for WrestleMania this weekend, guys. You can like and comment this video. Actually, if you watch this and you're a big wrestling fan, I have a lot of wrestling fans who are friends of mine on Facebook, so I want to kind of direct this out to them so they can go listen to it. If you listen to the video, give us a like, a thumbs up. Even if you think it's crap, give us a thumbs down. I don't care.
Yes,
any type of feedback is fine with us. We don't take it personal, actually.
Boom.
Critics, we don't really care. Actually, I do. Brett doesn't. Brett will talk me down. It'll be all right. So like it or dislike it, it's fine. But post in the comments of this video who you think is going to win each match. I'd love to see that.
Bang.
Bang. Thank you for tuning into the Walrus and Comic Podcast this afternoon, or whatever time you actually watch it. Brett, you have a little bit of news for the people about some other podcasts, and we've been talking about it. You got any updates for the people who are listening? Like,
Squawking and Talking episode 1 is out.
Okay.
Episode 2 is coming very soon. You can look it up on YouTube. We have a YouTube page.
Okay.
It's
and we'll link the YouTube page in the description of this video when I upload it tonight.
And the The other podcast that I was saying, me and two other
Comics
comics are coming up with.
Yeah.
That one is coming very soon. Also, that one's going to be.
But for now, you have Walrus and Comic Sports Report, and you have Squawking and Talking.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in, guys. Listen, it doesn't hurt either one of our feelings if you like one more than the other. Yeah. We're doing this so that you have multiple opportunities to see different platforms. Yeah. This one is sports.
We're trying to entertain you.
That's right. And if Brett doesn't stop hitting this glass table, I'm probably going to punch him in the face on live TV. We're going to go Facebook Live for that. Okay. But hey, tune into our Facebook page, Walrus and Comic podcast. I think it's called
Sports Report. Walrus and Comic Sports Report.
I think it's called the Walrus and Comic Sports Report. Yeah. But like it's just it's a little hard for me to read off for some reason, being a Southern boy. But yeah, the Walrus and Comic Sports Report. It's there on Facebook at Walrus and the Comic. You'll see a picture or like a caricature of me and Brett, me as a walrus with a big face,
and me as a comic,
and him as a comic, looking like he's taking a crap sitting on a rock.
Man.
But please, check us out, guys. Give us a like, a thumbs up, share it. If you got someone in your life who likes wrestling, this is a great opportunity to get this out to them. And not every podcast we do is about just one thing. We usually cover a lot of things, but hey, Corona 2020 is kind of messing us up there. It's banging us. All right, so tune in to us, guys, and we'd like to thank you for listening very humbly from the bottom of our hearts. I enjoy doing this every week. I know Brett does as well, and we could use your help to help spread the good news.
Yeah. Now, see, we're going to turn this off. We're going to make it real quiet and awkward for them.
Okay.